Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We've got the 9th war of the season right now, so week 3 is coming to a close. I'm really relieved that we've made it this far. There's only one more week of pushing for Alliance War before we can take a little break for the holiday coming up. I'm on path 4 again, same team as last time. As you can see, I am checking the SIG of this thing because that's going to matter in this fight. If he was SIG 200 and I was proccing protection, it would definitely slow down the fight a lot. But I was pretty relieved to see he was only SIG 40. It wasn't really going to make much of a difference here. The problem with some champions like Mole Man, for example, or Shang-Chi here is their damage per hit is so high that it's really possible to trigger protection all the time. Elsa's light attacks, for the most part, are not going to trigger protection. As you can see, my medium did right there. We're just, shortening our combos as needed to push him to 15 rock stacks, and he throws that special right on time. But as you can see, that last hit did get protection one more time. In general, her special 1 has a lot of hits that are going to be lower damage per hit, so I don't necessarily get protection on those. But if you compare this to the last time I fought him, it took about 90 seconds because it was a max SIG thing, but only at SIG 40, it's a really, really safe fight to not worry about timing out. And, Elsa is a pretty good counter to him in general, just the way her animations work and having the well-timed block for those extra openings and for adding a hit if needed. So I felt pretty good about that one. Next up, we've got this Terrax. I've taken him here a few times, and my usual spiel for this one is, you see Terrax and you get nervous, like, oh no, we need a Mystic, we need someone to counter him, like Diablo or Clairvoyance. But those champions are going to have the armor break stack up against them. They're also going to be having the weaknesses from the long distance relationship stacking up against them, and it's going to become kind of a long fight. So by using someone like Elsa here, you're going to be able to shrug these debuffs, get damage bonuses between the passive furies and your crit buffs that you're getting and you're seeing here. And yeah, we are taking a little bit of rock field damage, but I always like to just be aggressive on this node because I can always heal those back if I need to later. I'd rather just get this fight over with pretty quickly. And she pretty much hard counters him there, and I've never had a problem with him there using Elsa, and it's usually over fairly quick. So this war, I do take 7 fights, and because of Ghost and the volume of fights that she was taking, I did swap my masteries around to have the recoil tree for her, mostly for the Domino that's coming up. I just wanted to have everything in my corner to win the fight. It's kind of funny, a lot of the defenders I'm about to take I took in the previous war, but they were just kind of in a different order. So we start off with this iBom. The only thing to worry about is if I don't kill him fast enough, there is power alternator, so I need to pay attention to that. We're almost at her special 2, but I kind of make a mistake here, and I just forgot to hit phase back. So I don't know what I was thinking, because like muscle memory should have saved me there, but our basic hits are doing plenty. As you can see right there, power alternator did steal my power, so I had to block that special 2, which was kind of a drag. That one definitely hurt because he had the fury on him. So yeah, I made a mistake. It didn't cost me the fight, but it did cost me some potions, and whatever, it happens. It's too bad though, because if I just did that special 2, that would have been over in like no time. So finally, I have a Domino on node 25 where the footage didn't get deleted. The last 2 times this season I've taken this war, it's been solos and I just didn't have the video. This time, I will say, was the sloppiest of the 3 that I've done. I just kind of lost control of the fight early and had to do some kind of crazy things to get out of it. But I'm noticing that she is not duped, so I don't have to worry about crit fail, but I certainly do have to worry about my abilities failing. It just means I won't be taking damage from her. I decide to do invulnerable because that's more of a chance of dying because of being hit and getting a special 3. So I like to phase at the beginning. That was a perfect opening. My phases are working. Things are looking good. That phase fails. What I should have done is comboed into her and created a little bit of space, but instead I dashed back and she kind of throws this special 1 out of nowhere. I have the armor break from crumbling armor, so now I'm like, well, I already messed up this fight. I threw the special 2 just a fraction of a second early because she was still unstoppable. So I wasted my indestructible boost. I had to get out of this corner somehow, and that's how we do it. But she just keeps throwing her specials. She's like super happy to throw those things. I'm waiting for this timer to end. Once again, I'm just a fraction of a second early. She throws another one. She's building so much power with that kinetic transference. I am able to throw this once again just a little early, so I'm not looking good here, but watch this. We parry, I throw the Hail Mary, we phase, it does work, and we're able to get her down. So I remembered a few fights ago I was a little reluctant to use my special one, but it really does a ton of damage. And it was a little bit of a gamble at the end, but I was dead either way if I didn't try it. I threw the Hail Mary, which was comboing into her while she was lucky, and then phasing back into a special one. There is a 15 out of 100% chance that it would have failed and that it would have not been unblockable because of not phasing. If that happened, I would have been dead. If I didn't try it, I would have been dead. So it was a bit of a gamble, and it paid off. And I'm very happy for it, and that fight will hopefully go better next time. So anyway, in terms of the boosting, we were medium boosted because I had recoil tree on, so I threw on this skill boost for Elsa here. I turned off the recoil tree because he would be unblockable like all fight if I kept that on, basically. And she's a good counter here. We're just going to kind of slow combo. I want him to evade one time. Right there he does, and then by doing medium, we get a cold snap up, and then if the fight's over fast enough and I control the cold snaps, he's basically not going to evade for the rest of the fight. So that really helps. We throw a special one here, and she can shrug those careful study passives. He is unblockable because that special one just puts so many debuffs on us. So right there, I didn't react fast enough, and I blow through the indestructible boost. When you're fighting unblockable opponents, it's just always good to have invulnerable on, in my opinion. So right there, we had a nice lag frame, so I'm glad that didn't come back to hurt me, but that was real time in the game. That happened too. I'm building my special 2, expecting this to kill him, but as you can see, like, not a lot of those hits crit. Because of the careful study on me, it didn't do as much damage as we would have wanted. And there he evades me one more time because my cold snap had fallen off. So I'm in a little bit of trouble now. I still have plenty of health to play with. I'm just kind of trying to get one hit at a time just to get him down because Elsa's done for the war, so it doesn't really matter that we lost our health at the end. Almost got him down. If I had a little bit more attack boost, that special 2 would have killed him, and it's fine. So we have our final 2 fights. This is a 7-fight war, as I mentioned, and we're going up against the Spider-Man. I've turned the recoil tree back on because I want the MODOK to go smoothly. I am realizing here that it might be a little bit overkill. And I should say, actually, that all 4 of the last fights had some form of armor break on them. So it is interesting, like, they tried to counter Ghost with stuff like crumbling armor that's on this fight, and it's just part of the way to counter her, but it doesn't really come into play. You just have to be aware of it and know that your phases will fail if you do get one of those armor breaks on you. So I phased at the beginning to gain a bunch of power. We have a special 2. I throw it, and as I expected, this pushes me red. He just doesn't have as much health as like Abomination or one of the other ones that we faced. So no problem. I'm just going to throw the special 3. It'll give me a little bit of power back. And, you know, all I need to do is find one more opening and probably do like one more basic hit. So I missed a parry there. I'm just looking to get like a nice safe opening. Parry once, didn't kill him. Parry again, and he's down. So nothing too scary there. She also has the evade countering, so I felt a little bit safer using her versus Elsa. I definitely didn't want to use Ghost against Mr. Fantastic, by the way, because if I accidentally threw 2 special 2s, I could have the gimped special 2 for the rest of the match, which would have been pretty bad to have that like permanent careful study on my special 2 in order to get these fights down. So as I mentioned, I've taken MODOK a lot this season, but never on this node. Ghost does have the free intercepts with her phases. I don't have the benefit of the high ground, of the hazard shift that I did in the last fight, so I am going to have to be a little bit more careful here, but unlike node 49, he's not stun immune. So what you're going to see, I'm kind of thinking over my game plan. My plan A was to treat this just like the last fight where I like kind of phase the first combo, but then I realized that parry is active here because the stun immunity is not a node. So I decided to just parry and heavy to start the fight. I'm like, why not? And then of course he delays right there, so I'm not able to phase, but I'm like, hey, let's just do this again. Parry, heavy, and I'm like, let's go off to the races now. He dashes toward us. We get our intercept, able to throw this, and because he has a lot of health, it pushes us right where we want to be. I'm assuming this is enough to kill him, and if not, I had another special 3 ready to go, it seemed like, but that was plenty to kill him. And yeah, feeling pretty good about those fights. So you know, I just wanted to kind of point out, like, we are pushing for masters. With this war, we actually had a perfect score in our battle group. We had a 165, so I'm feeling really good about that Domino fight not going south for me, because that would have been a sad thing if I was the only death. But I know I was able to take the 7 fights and give us the big donut there. As an alliance, we did pretty well, and we did end up winning this war, meaning that we are, what are we? We, after 9 wars, I guess we are 5-4. So we have a winning record, and you know, going into the last week of the season, we're aiming to win them all. But even if we go 2-1, we should be pretty safe, and so we do have one chance to make a mistake if we need to. But I am feeling pretty good about, you know, our chances to try to sneak into Masters this season. Yeah, the battle group has just been improving every war. People are kind of having more defined roles now and really sort of clutching out. It's nice. We have a couple rank 4s now on offense. Like we have a Reed Richards, we have a Spider-Man 2099, and I think there's just going to be more and more of those as time goes on. So things are really clicking. Feeling pretty good. I'm really glad we get this day off. The last thing I want to say is that, like, I was really paying attention to the boosting in this war. Trying to get the ghost boost together, like not using big boost against Thing because of the protection, and always using gray boost as needed, you know, kind of alternating between advanced power boost for ghost and the invulnerable as needed. And, you know, additionally, I did actually have to swap my masteries 2 times because all the Elsa fights really needed the recoil tree off, but most of the ghost fights really benefited from having them on. So, you know, that is a unit cost that you have to just kind of budget if you're going to be in this tier level. You know, obviously, like, not everybody has champions who need to be swapping masteries, but in this war, you know, it really looked like it was important for me to take this lane that had some tricky ones. And, you know, we needed Ghost. We needed Ghost at her best. We needed Elsa. We needed Elsa at her best. And it's just kind of how you play the game. So I have no regrets about that. I'm really happy it's been going well. And I appreciate everybody who's coming and checking out these videos. So thanks again for checking this one out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.